At one point or the other, I believe you have had a situation where you are trying to make your clothes and either the needle is breaking or the needle is just pulling out the feed dog, everything is just coming out. It will pull the clothes and everything is not just sewing, or the needle is just giving the clothes you are sewing big holes. In any of these situations, if you have been in any of them, it shows that the sewing machine needle or the needle you were using to perform that task at that time was a wrong needle. So today we'll be discussing sewing machine needles, the types and the sizes of the sewing machine needles that we have, and how you can know the exact needle to use for every kind of fabric or any project you are working on part time. So if this is something you're interested in, welcome. Let's just get right into the video. Hello, welcome back to the channel. My name is Thelma, and today I am sharing this important topic. And if this is something you're interested in, do well to watch this video to the end, because I'll be sharing the exact sizes of needles, the types of sewing machine needles that we have, and the machines you need to use these needles for. Alright, let's start with the sizes of these needles that we are talking about, because if you know the exact size of needle to work with for any fabric you are working on, it will help your sewing game, because you don't need to start stressing yourself with your needle breaking and all that. If at all your needle will break, it's maybe because there's a friction somewhere or something else happened. It's not because you are using the wrong needle for that project. Now, talking about the sizes, we have all the needles I'll be talking about today. We have them in size 11 to size 18. Any other thing above size 18 I have not seen and I have not used. If at all they are available, I believe they will be used in maybe big, industrial factories where they use heavy heavy duty stuffs. I worked in a factory where you have your ready-to-wear, everyday ready-to-wear produce. We produce more than 1,000 fabrics, 1,000 shirts in a day. We don't use size 20, size 22 or anything like that. So for your everyday sewings and your everyday sewings, and even in sewing factories, we use between 11 to size 20, depending on, to size 18, depending on the fabric you are working on. So now let's talk about what kind of fabrics do you use size 11 needles for. If you are working with your lining fabrics, you are talking about organza, silk, soft veil net, you should be looking at working with size 11, because these fabrics are very lightweight, very soft, very lightweight. You use these small needles for small size 11 needles for them. So that's that about size 11 needle. So let's move on to size 14 needle. So if you are working with Ankara fabric or thick crepe fabric, so if you are working with Ankara fabric or thick crepe fabric, you should be looking at working with your size 14 needle. Whatever it is that is beyond silk, beyond organza, veil net, beyond what other soft fabric do we have? Your lining, I can't think of any right now, but you know, I'm sure you know what I'm trying to say. So whatever is beyond those fabric, then you should be looking at working with size 14, Ankara, crepe and the likes. So now if you are working with denim fabric, very thick crepe fabric, denim fabric, you are looking at working with size 16 needles. Size 16 needles are for very thick fabric like your denim and the likes. So if you are now talking of working with khaki fabrics, like all those very thick fabric like khaki, then you should be looking at working with size 18. Now let me give you a very quick tip to know. If you are using the wrong size of needle, for example, you are working with a silk fabric and you are using size 16 needle, you will notice big holes while you are sewing. You're sewing, you notice the needle will just be going so deep into it, and by the time you are done sewing, you'll be seeing big holes, unnecessary holes, right? And the same way, if you are using a very small needle, let's say size 11 needle, you are working with size 11 needle for a denim fabric, you notice that it's either the needle will keep breaking, or it will just it will pick the whole thing you are trying to work with, or it will not even penetrate. Having not had such issues where you are sewing and the needle, you have to be eating the needle for it to really go inside. So to avoid all those kinds of stress and drama, use the right needle for the right fabric. Now moving on, let's go to the types of needles that we have and the machines we use them for. Now I'm just going to not go with the alphabetical order, so let's just start with our DC. Okay, let's start with the one we all know, the DP needle. DP needles are used for your straight machines, industrial straight sewing, manual straight sewing. Once it's straight sewing, you are using your DP needle. And also we have them between size 11 to size 18, and I've already mentioned how you know the right size to use for whichever fabric, texture of fabric you are working with. So you use your DP needle for your straight sewing machine. Anything straight sewing machine, you are using your DP needle. Just go and get a DP needle. Now let's move to the next, which is DB needle. DB needle. You use DB needle for your buttonhole machine. Literally, I saw a lady struggling, like she was struggling with a buttonhole machine, and she kept saying, this machine is spoiled, I don't know what is wrong with this machine, I just fixed it, and stuff like that, only for us to discover that she was using the wrong needle. She was using DP needle for buttonhole machine, and the thing kept breaking and kept stressing her. So DB needle, don't use DP needle for buttonholes machine. DB needle are meant for buttonholes machine, and again we have them from size 11 to size 18 depending on the texture of the fabric you are working with. Moving on, the next type of sewing machine needle that we have is your DV needle. DV needle. DVs are used for your taping machine or your flat lock machine. DVs are used for your taping or your flat lock machine. If you see your t-shirt fabric, the hem of every t-shirt fabric, you use your flat lock or your taping machine to achieve those tasks. So DV needles are used for them. If you don't know about these machines, or you've not seen them, or you would like to purchase them, or you don't know anything about them, watch this video. I'm going to put the link to this video in the description box here. Also, this particular video, I talked about these sewing machines. I talked about the kind of sewing machines you should have for your fashion business. I showed you pictures of these sewing machines. So go ahead to watch that videos. You see these machines I'm talking about, and there I also explained what you use these machines for with examples. So this is a video you should watch right after watching this particular video. This is one video you should go and watch, because you see these machines, you see what they are used for, you see exactly what they are used for, and if it's something you want to get, you can just go ahead to get them. So moving on, the next sewing machine needle we have is your TQ needles, and they are used for your button tacking machine. Also, we have them between size 11 to size 18 depending on the texture of the fabric you are working with per time. You know the size of needle to use. And last but not the least, UI needle and TQ needle. So I'm putting these two together because they work for these two can work for this one machine, which is the feed of hand machine, right? So you use that machine is used to pipe your t-shirt. So if you check your t-shirt fabric, like I said, if you have not seen this video, just watch it. I showed pictures of these machines, exactly what they do. I explained the details, what they do, and I talked about them in detail. So you just watch that video and you understand what I'm saying here. So your TQ and your UI needles are used for your feed of hand machines, and also we have them between size 11 to size 18 as well, depending on the texture of the fabric you are working with per time. If you find this video helpful, do well to subscribe, turn on your bell notification, and leave a comment below. Let me know if you know other types of needles that are different from these. So these are needles that I have seen, I have used, I know definitely will have more than these types of needles, and even though I've not seen them, I don't know about them. So but if you know any of them that I've not mentioned here, let us know in the comment section. Tell us about it in the comment section as well. So see you in my next video, and bye for now.